All right. What are three qualities you guys possess that you think will benefit you in becoming an officer?
I think it's a pretty top three for me are going to be respectful, loyal, and dependable.
All right, I like it. You, Michael?
Consistent, prepared, and dedicated. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Yep.
Yeah, Michael knows his three for sure.
Hell
He
yeah,
had
I
those
like it.
ready.
Yeah, he did. All right, this one's gonna get you guys. All right, you ready?
Let's go.
What is your greatest weakness, and how do you plan to address/manage it effectively in this role as an officer?
My greatest weakness has definitely got to be pressure. A high tense situation. There's a lot going on. You've got to figure out what to do first. You don't have much time to do so. So just using my thorough training and what my officers teach me, and learning what they do over time, is probably going to be just my main reaction to be able to, instead of thinking, just reacting.
Okay, all right, I like it. What about you, Michael?
One of them for me is I will honestly say by being a super dedicated person. Oftentimes, if someone's not as dedicated as I am, I oftentimes will try to find a common ground to either help them elevate or you know put us in the right direction. So I think that is something that I sort of stick to. I'm dedicated and I like to do my job perfectly.
Okay, all right. I got two. So this one's gonna be a kind of weird one, okay? So it gives me a whole bunch that I can choose from. So I'm gonna give you both separate questions, and you guys are gonna give me both separate answers, okay?
For sure.
So Quan, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say if you arrive at a scene where two people are arguing loudly, how would you approach/ de-escalate the situation?
I would look at it from their end, obviously just gotta get a quick brief over of why they're both mad at each other, try and figure out the main gist of what's going on, try and neutralize that situation as soon as possible. That way it doesn't escalate into something more violent, of course. And then, get them both to a fair ground. That way they can both walk away happy without having to end and a, any violent situation or someone having to go into jail.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, Michael, this one's gonna sound all very similar, but it's different, okay? How would you handle a call involving a domestic dispute where both parties are emotionally charged?
The first thing I want to do if I'm arriving on scene by myself is I'm going to call for backup. Um, because if it's two people, I don't know if there are weapons involved. I don't know if there are other things that I need to consider. So I'm going to make sure I have someone else there to cover as well. I'm going to separate both of those folks. So I may ask one to stay inside the residence. I'm going to pull the other person outside to make sure that I have some space between the two, and I have some space that'll be safe for me. And I'm probably going to keep them separated, but loosely engage until the backup arrives on scene, just in case.
Awesome, love it. Great answer. How do you handle difficult conversations or disagreements with others while maintaining professionalism?
Is that to both of us or
Yeah, that
one of
one's gonna
us?
be for both of you.
Okay. I mean, I would say definitely just try and neutralize the conversation with a common agreement. Try find like something that y'all both agree on, while being professional about it, and just trying to not do whatever you can not to escalate the situation, but to de-escalate it.
All right, I like it. I like it. What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think number one is one thing that I do in practice is making sure that I understand the other person's perspective. And I think sometimes when a person understands that you're actually trying to understand their point of view, that sort of naturally de-escalates. And maybe even I ask probing questions if it's to a point where, um, like, hey, we're both real heated, we're charged. I may even ask for a mediator to sort of help us sort that out, especially if it's in a professional setting.
Yes, sir. All right, great, great. Do either of you guys know what a 10 code is?
Yes.
I've heard a few of them, but I can't say yes because I'm not that sure about enough of them.
Okay, all right. That's okay. We teach everything. Michael, do you know of any of the 10 codes that we use?
Some cities are very different. 10 zeros, oftentimes officer dropped. 1080, high speed chase. 1070, foot pursuit. 1050 is a wreck. Again, it depends on which city you're in, and some departments do it different.
Yes, sir. You got a lot of those, right?
1020, yeah, 1020 is what you look officer location.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are some of the common ones.
Oh yeah, you got most of those right. We do a little bit different. 10-0 is gonna be like head pop, and then 1099 is gonna be the most severe, which is gonna be a panic button.
Yep, panic. Well, so officer drop meaning 10-0, so it's head pop, so exact same thing. My
Okay,
previous
yeah,
city called it something
gotcha,
different.
gotcha.
1042, 1047, 10-8, 10-7. So yeah.
Do you, either of you, have any specific divisions within LSPD that you're particularly interested in joining, and why?
Nothing in particular, just more or less wanting to join in, learn a lot, and work my way up the ranks in any which way I go.
Hell yeah. What about you, Michael?
I'm really open. Really wherever the police department needs me, I'd be open. But if I had to pick one, I really like K9. I really like potentially being a detective or the thought of. But again, wherever the department really needs me.
Sweet. Just so you guys know of all the departments that we have right now, I'm honestly might be missing a couple. We've got canine, we've got motorcycle, we've got heat, which is gonna be like super fast cars. We've got Air One, we've got SWAT, we've got CID. I know I'm missing one somewhere, but we've got all sorts of stuff.
I'd probably say I'd be shooting for heat then.
Heat, all right, nice.
I've also been an internal affairs officer as well. So I don't know if you have internal affairs or not.
So I know you mentioned something about DEA and stuff. We don't really go into that stuff too
Yeah, and the
much,
Fed
but
stuff. Yeah.
our our DOJ system is where we go into depth, right? So like you guys will learn is we do things almost as if, it's a job. And the reasoning why is if you ever seen Chief Justice, she is ruthless. She doesn't joke around. This is like what when she's doing her job, she is doing her job to the fullest.
Oh yeah, that's the truth for sure.
Sounds like a nice lady.
Oh yeah.
She's nice, but definitely can be mean as hell if you fuck shit up. Alright, this is gonna be a weird question. There's no real good, great, or any kind of answer. I personally have like an ideal answer in my own head, so that kind of gives me the idea that everybody else kind of has their own perfect idea of an answer, okay? How do
Yeah,
you
sounds good.
how do you plan to stay physically and mentally prepared for the demands of this role?
So physically is going to be for sure as I do go to the gym a lot. I do try and keep myself at 100% at all times, just so I can perform at my best. And not only that, I do, very agree. Like, what would you say? Look after my driving. I make sure I don't wreck. Make sure I'm quick around corners. And then mentally, really just preparing myself for the day. Knowing that anything could happen and just kind of being on my toes at all times, ready for anything.
Oh yeah. What about you, Michael?
Morning jogs is number one. I think that's important. Number one, helps me mentally and also helps me physically. Um, but really, I do a lot of community service and things like that out in the community. So that typically helps me stay mentally sane. And then physically, that could be gym, running, all of the above.
Hell yeah. Alright. These are gonna be real fast. I just need a yes or no, okay?
Okay.
Do you understand PD corruption is not allowed at any time? If found to be corrupt, you will be terminated immediately and possible government intervention.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Alright. You cannot be actively in a gang, involved with a gang, and if found working with or affiliated with you, will be terminated immediately and face prosecution. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yep.
Do you understand that employment at LSPD is at will and you can be removed at any time without prior notice?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So now, there is one part that pretty much everybody has questions about, which is the gang side. I don't know if it applies to y'all, but as long as this is a different soul than whatever's inside of the gang, you are in the clear, okay?
Good to go.
Alright,
10-4.
with that,